Welcome back to the Pro Football Pod. We are bringing you the Week 12 waiver wire. Let's get right into it. Quarterback, Giants, Tommy DeVito. What do you guys think? Are you guys
Give me
actually
some.
are you guys actually picking up some of
Give me
Mama's
some.
homely spaghetti?
Hey, it's
Uh,
Tommy DeVito.
I don't know about this. If I needed a quarterback real bad, I'd probably still try to go Jordan Love. But what are you guys thinking about the number? I mean, it's easy because nobody has him. You're guaranteed to get him if you got the top waiver wire.
Yeah,
So,
because
hear
I
me
also
out.
don't think anybody's really trying to pick him up because they're still just looking at it and seeing the Giants. But it's got, at this point, I mean, it's got a lot of YOLO to it. Like,
yeah.
he's just out there just throwing bombs because, like, what do you got to lose?
So you're not drafting Danny DeVito. You're drafting or picking up off the waiver wire Saquon Barkley. Because that man put the ball down the field for everything
You're
that Danny.
picking up Saquon Barkley?
So what he's saying is
Yes.
those two touchdowns
You were
to
picking up
Saquon
Saquon.
were both like down the field plays. He's basically playing receiver, so they actually have a good receiver now, and I think that's what Austin's trying to say. Is
And
that
in the
what you're
rushing
going with?
game, Saquon was a crusher.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're not going to get Saquon for Danny DeVito don't matter for that. That's where I think Jordan Love is
No, but it
actually
helps the
turning it on.
offense.
He's
still
available
had
in a lot of leagues.
190 yards and a touchdown without targeting Saquon. So, I mean, it wasn't bad at all. I mean, yes,
The
their
5
defense
sacks
was
in
the
the
story
first
of the game.
and the first quarter was horrible. I cannot believe
And that made me so confident on my bet for the Commanders to win that game. I was like, all right, we got this.
Yeah.
It did not go over well.
The Commanders were the only team to screw me in my teaser bet. The only
same.
team.
Yeah, we are. It's official. We said it all. If not, we'll say it on Twitter later this
Did
week.
we curse them?
We're no longer a
Is
Commanders
that
podcast.
is that our fault?
Fuck the Commanders.
We'll
We
own up
don't.
to it.
Fault?
We don't want that voodoo. No. It wasn't our fault.
Ron
It's
Rivera,
them.
He listens
Yeah.
to the pod. He was
It
like,
was
you
the
know
poop
what?
pipes.
Hey.
Fuck these guys.
All right. Another guy only rostered in 36% of Yahoo leagues, which is crazy to me because he's the best receiver on the Packers. Jaden Reed, wide receiver, rookie. We were talking about the rookies in last week in the recap episode. We didn't even mention Jaden Reed, and the guy's been playing lights out the last couple of weeks. Doing it on minimal targets too. This efficiency with 5 for 84 and a touchdown, and then
He's been getting targeted quite a bit.
3 for 46 and a rushing touchdown this week with 4 for 46 passing at the same time. I mean, dude, that's efficiency.
Yeah,
That's the thing
you
that
like
you're
to see him doing it
noticing.
in the rushing game.
Is they have found different ways to get the ball in his hands. And I mean, you don't want to keep he could be the Debo for their team because LaFleur has history with Shanahan and do all of that. But I mean, 3 rushes, 46 yards. I mean, granted a long rush of 32 yards, so that's going to help you there for sure.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's the efficiency. It's when he does get the ball more than 5 times in a game, he's averaging almost 20 yards a touch. Which
That's
is
insane.
Yeah, it's
yak
awesome.
is nuts.
It's nuts. So for me, I absolutely love him, especially in deep leagues as a flex play, because you're just seeing here, especially since their bye week in week 6, 4 targets, 6 targets, 3, 5, 6. Like he's gaining more and more trust with Jordan Love each week as well.
Him and Dobbs are both kind of like getting the targets. Christian Watson is so disappointing in this offense. I don't get it.
He got a touchdown.
I mean, yeah, but without the
He's
touchdown,
becoming so much of just like a deep threat. Just
Exactly.
a go route.
You talk about Debo type receiver. That's what Christian Watson should be playing in that role on the offense.
I feel like he's not as elusive. I think he's honestly more of an Ayuk where he can just take off on you, but he's just like maybe he's too big. Maybe that's part of it, or maybe he just isn't developed enough. I think we'll see. I think that in general, Green Bay Packers are turning it on. I'm buying all in. I've got a couple teams where I have both Romeo and Christian Watson. So I mean, I'm in on those guys and moving forward. Are you guys in on Odell Beckham? He is a little bit questionable with a shoulder injury, but over the past 3 weeks, he's either got a touchdown or 100 yards. He also has 7 targets, 2 targets, and then 7 targets again. Tough matchups last couple weeks. He's got LA moving forward. What do you guys think?
Desperate flex.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, almost every game I've seen him in, aside from this shoulder injury, in some fashion, he comes out with an ailment. Now, in
Mhm.
most games, he's come back in, but in some way, it to me, it's still just kind of sketchy. Of are you going to get a full game from him? But you are seeing that he has become the deep threat, big play option on that offense, whereas Zay Flowers has become really more the underneath reception guy, try to take it, from 7 yards, catch the ball, and turn it into 20.
Yeah,
Whereas OBJ is getting targeted 40 yards down the field. So the big playability with that, yeah, like Austin said, it's a flex play, but it is kind of desperate.
And it's also going to pay off a little bit more now that Andrews is hurt, so there's just
True.
more to feed around there.
Now, the report on Andrews that I read today says that he's not necessarily end of season, that it could be less than what they originally thought, that he may be back sometime this season. That they didn't say playoffs, they said during the season, so that could mean week 16, 17, we might see him back. So I
That's
think that
risky though. Like you put another tight end for 5 games, and then you're gonna just put Andrews in the playoffs. Off an injury. That's like kind of like an Achan move.
we're going a little bit out of order, and I didn't honestly want to talk about this player too much because everyone's going to, but I think it's a good point. Isaiah Likely, uh, basically, he's available in all leagues because nobody expected Andrews to go down. And if I had any other major tight end and my tight end got hurt, I would probably go for David Njoku this week. And I think David Njoku is a great look. He had 15 targets. But Isaiah
He's gonna
Likely,
be available.
he's available in quite a few leagues. We'll talk about that whenever we get to him. But Isaiah Likely is available in all leagues, and if I had Andrews, I'm definitely trying to get him. He basically just comes in and replaces Andrews. We saw how athletic he was last year. He was a little bit up and
Somewhat.
down last year,
Yeah.
but he's got the athleticism. I think that he's been able to take the leap. I'm buying in on him. I'm excited about
He
Isaiah Likely.
I think it was more exciting last year because they didn't have as good as receiving core. But now that they have Flowers and Odell Beckham, it's not as exciting to put Likely in. Like we know
Agreed.
that Lamar
Agreed.
likes to feed the tight end, but he likes to feed Andrews. We saw with last year, Likely didn't just consistently get you 15 points a game just because Andrews is out. Like you said, he's up and down.
Now, Njoku is rostered in 84% of leagues, so you're right. He's not available in most leagues. Most people have been expecting something to happen, especially with Thompson Robinson starting last week. They weren't really.
DTR. T- DTR.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, DTR, baby.
Dorian Thompson Robinson.
You let them all know. Now, a player that's rostered in 0% of leagues as well is Greg Dortch. And Dortch had 8 targets, 6 for 76. I want to talk about this. Michael Wilson missed the game. I think if Michael Wilson doesn't miss the game, that those 8 targets could all potentially go to him instead. That I think that Greg Dortch in a lot of ways stepped into the role that Wilson would have been in with Marquise Brown is going to keep his say role no matter what. I think that if Wilson plays this week, that you potentially pick him up instead. If not, Dortch obviously did really well with those looks. But if Michael Wilson comes in, I'm really, really afraid of anybody below him, including Rondale Moore, who we called it last week. We'll go over it on the notes and gloats. But Rondale Moore for a touchdown, we knew it was going to happen. Kyler loves Rondale Moore. We called that he was going to get more production and wait for him to get a big touchdown.
One reception for one touchdown. That's what
That's
he
all.
got. And
11
that's all we
points.
need.
Bang bang, let's go. You don't put him in. Don't get me wrong. Nobody
That's-
play Rondale Moore, but
That's what brings me to my point about Dortch. Yeah, because of Rondo Moore getting out, I think that's why he got fed so much. It looked like Rondell Moore was going to be the guy this waiver wire snag this week, but it should be Dortch. We know that he's got the athletic ability. He did it. Did he do it last year? At the end of the year, was it? He was
Yeah,
popping off.
that's Dortch and Rondale Moore. Those are two guys to where, over the last couple seasons, Kyler's actually trusted them quite a bit. So for me, it's wild though, seeing, knowing the relationship he does have with Hollywood Brown as to, why is he like the third guy on the totem pole right now?
Yeah.
Because Dortch led the team in targets with 8, then Trey McBride had 7, then you had Hollywood with 5.
Yeah, not wide receiver 1, not exactly what you're looking for.
No,
Not
so
for
it is
him.
it is concerning going forward.
It makes no logical sense moving forward.
So against the Chargers, who are one of the worst run defenses, with about half
defenses.
with about half of the game, Aaron Jones not playing at all, on 14 carries and 4 receptions. A.J. Dillon had 29 rushing yards and 32. So his efficiency was ass. Now he's about to play Detroit, who's a much better run defense.
You don't play AJ Dillon at all.
No. Do you pick him up though? Are you going to spend a waiver wire knowing? No.
As an Aaron Jones owner in one league, I'm not looking at AJ Dillon being the guy that I'm picking up to replace him, because
he had one pop week?
As much as I like him, exactly, this season he's just been super inefficient. Last season and the season before, he was pretty trustworthy, especially if Aaron Jones went down. But there was a few games last year, especially, I don't know if it was the Aaron Rodgers effect, but you were able to start Aaron Jones at your RB1 and AJ Dillon at your flex.
His second season. I remember that.
Exactly. But right now, he's just the 2.1, 2.8 yards per carry. That's been the story of his season so far. So for me, honestly, if anything, I think any injury to Aaron Jones screams more that you should look to pick up Jaden Reed like we talked about, because I think that's more ways they're going to try to get the balls in playmakers' hands.
I agree. I think also Dubs and Watson, they're not available in most leagues, but all 3 of these guys are about to get a lot of value. Jordan Love is finally starting to turn it on a little bit. They get Detroit this week. They get Kansas City after. They get the Giants, though. Then they get Tampa Bay. Then they get Carolina. So they do have some easy matchups coming up, and they're not going to be available then. They're already going to have popped off 1 or 2 weeks when they're not supposed to. So, yeah. I think that's another successful episode in the books. So make sure to go to TulsiRoastTea.com for all of your tea needs. Like, comment, and subscribe. And join in on Friday when we do an episode for you guys. Friday for the fans. Peace out.
Deuce.